Hello and welcome to a new episode of Startup Sunday. Please hit that subscribe button if you want more such interviews on startup entrepreneurship and similar stuff like that. And also hit that like button if you feel this video is providing some value to you. In this episode, we have called Mr. Pratik Mohapatra. You can see his LinkedIn profile here. Uh, he is a program manager at Microsoft and also winner of Microsoft Imagine Cup 2K18. In this video, we have discussed how experience is important for starting your own venture at some point of time in life. So I hope you would like it. So, sir, please introduce yourself to our audience and also.
Sure. So thank you, Nihal, for inviting me and excited to be here. So a bit about me. I'm a program manager for Microsoft Teams. I look at the certain areas for Microsoft Teams and ensure that I improve it. Uh, Additionally, I'm a worldwide winner of the Microsoft Imagine Cup and the Microsoft AI Good Idea for Challenge. And I really have a very keen interest towards product management, design, and core philosophy and technology. So I see myself at the epicenter, and that's the reason why I picked up program manager at Microsoft. So glad to be here, Nihal.
Yeah. So, sir,
Yeah,
today's topic is job versus startup, and since
yeah,
this channel is all about entrepreneurship and similar stuff
yeah,
like that, so what are
yeah.
your first thoughts about job versus startup while you are just after the college? Means you have no experience
Sure,
and you have jumped into startup industry. Do you think is this the right approach?
sure. So I think so. I have been fortunate to join a Microsoft. So I won't call it a startup there, but I think the startup versus MNC debate, right, which is the most appropriate one. Should one do a job, or should one go forward and probably make their own startup, right? And that's the question, right? If I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah,
wrong, yeah.
yeah.
So I think there are three ways to look at this, right? And primarily, let's look at the first way, right? You take a job at, let's say, XYZ company, right? And you try to gain skill sets, you try to learn a lot from your peers, because your peers around you will have different experiences, different styles of executing a lot of things, right? And that will really help you. Um, so I think that is good, right? Because you start your base off with learning a lot, right? If you look at multiple successful leaders, what they have done is they have always started at the bottom and then scaled to the top. Even if you look at Satya, who's the CEO of Microsoft, who started from the bottom and gone up to the top, right? He's climbed up a lot of ladders to get there. So the way I look at it is that if you go forward and do a job, you acquire several skill sets and you acquire a lot of knowledge, right? Which is very crucial and very important.
Yeah.
The second aspect to this is that if you go forward and start a startup, right? Of course, people have done it. People have been successful. There are multiple examples like Dipinder Goyal in Zomato, who started right out of college, did Zomato, and Zomato today is a very highly valued
Yeah.
startup in India, right? But the strike rate, right? If you look at data again, right?
Yeah.
For any conversation, data is important, right? Most of the successful startup founders have invested a lot of time in good corporate, right? So I can give you multiple examples, right? Let me support this claim with data, right? If you go with Binny Bansal and Sachin Bansal,
Yeah.
they were working in Amazon before they
Amazon.
started Flipkart, right? If you take, for example, uh, multiple other people, right? The names are not coming in, but multiple other people, like even Saurabh Mukherjee, who started a Marcellus Investment Managers, right? Which is one of the most successful PMSs in India. He has also gone forward and had experience in the capital industry or capital and finance industry, and then gone forward and started his company. If you look at Arnab Goswami, right? Republic today is so successful. Even in the digital platform, even in Hindi, even in English, the BARC ratings are the highest. Arnab Goswami started with NDTV, moved on to Times Now, and then moved on to make his own channel, Republic,
Yeah.
right? So I can give you multiple examples like this, Nahal, where people have been more successful, right? People have been more successful in going forward, making their own startup when they have had experience in the industry, right? And data will tell you that in 1 out of 10 cases, they are successful, while 9 out of 10, they're unsuccessful, right?
Yeah.
Why is that they're unsuccessful, right? So let's go to the root of that. They're unsuccessful because of the fact that you do not know how to go forward and potentially scale a business, right? Now, what do you want to understand in the business after a
Can I
point?
add something to it? Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure,
So,
sure. Go ahead.
for this YouTube channel itself, I have been
Yeah,
observing and reading articles about startup for about 2-3 months,
yeah,
and I've read about more than 100 plus startups. And in most of
yeah.
the cases, when the successful startups have a common means pattern for the founder,
Mm-hmm.
means
Mm.
they are in their 30s or early 40s, and they have
Yeah,
worked a lot. It means they have understood the process in that uh,
yeah,
decade.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yep, yep, yep. No, I completely agree, Nihal. I think there's no brainer in that, right? If you get experience and then you do a startup, it's probably going to be more successful, right? Of course, there are outliers, right? You have Dipender Goyal, you have multiple people like Jack Ma who have done it, right? But I would certainly believe that ideally, if you go forward and get experience and then transform that into a startup, that would be
yeah,
better, right? The
and
third point that
yeah,
I'm trying to tell you here, right, is that if you go to an MNC, you side by side acquire skill sets or take stretch projects to learn about startups, right? You don't need to quit your job for that, right? You can always acquire those skill sets and apply them. So once you do that, you will go forward and make more impact, right? So
yeah.
you had the first one just doing a job, second one just going out with a startup, third one is doing a job in the MNC and acquiring skill sets to make your own startup. So that's the answer to that, Nihal.
Okay. And one more question I would like to add to it. What's your thought
Yeah.
about someone going to early stage startup that are well funded, uh,
Yeah.
but not a unicorn, but they are well funded? So what's the exposure a student can get there?
Got it. So I think, of course, I think in a startup you get a lot of experience, get a lot of expertise, you get a lot of things happening, right? But I think what's important to understand is what kind of work are you doing, right? If you do want to be a startup founder, then you should be probably a chief of staff. You should probably be a product manager, right? You should pick your domain in the right area, right? Irrespective of the fact that you work in a well-funded startup or not work in a well-funded startup, right? You need to pick up your niche and your domain very important, right? If you are an engineer, right, it becomes difficult to become a CEO, and that's why we have the title CTO, because you need to acquire business acumen, right? Without business acumen, it becomes difficult for you to go forward and scale a successful startup, right? Because you have to increase the EBITDA margins quarter on quarter, right? To make it a potential startup, or your PAT has to increase quarter on quarter to make it a more successful startup. So, with only technical skill sets, you will have limited knowledge of how to scale across the EBITDA of the PAT, right? A beautiful example for this is HDFC Bank, right?
Yeah,
Aditya Puri, who started this, quarter on quarter, their EBITDA and the PAT margin and the earnings per share and the earnings compounding has been over 18 to 19% CAGR year on year, right? How have they done that, right? Because they have a fantastic leadership. They have also gone forward and learned the business acumen, how businesses are scaled from ground up, and they have acquired those skill sets, right? So to answer your question, right, of course, going to a early stage startup, you will learn a lot. But if you ideally want to start your own startup as a CEO, not a CTO, right, that's a different conversation.
yeah.
As a CEO, then you need to acquire skill sets in business, technology, design, and finance as well, right? Not only in one domain, because that's not going to make you a CEO then.
Yeah. And as you mentioned, you have won various international prizes like in the Imagine Cup by Microsoft. So
Yeah.
the prize money of $100,000 is enough to pump you up. But what was your
Yeah.
thought process
So just to
to
clarify, yeah.
yeah,
So just to clarify there, Nihal, I didn't, my team and I didn't get 100K dollars. We got, I think, 15K US dollars or somewhat like that, right? But to answer your question, right?
But the social
Probably,
validation you get, it's enough
yeah,
to pump you up. For example, in I would discuss my story. It will be not compared to your, but we pitched the idea in Techstars last year in February. This year in February. So it was basically about dress renting platform.
yeah,
Yeah, so it was basically about dress renting platform, and we got a very good feedbacks from the judges out there, and we have also got many mentors just after the event, and we stayed in contact with them, and also we tried to run it run the trial run the idea within our college for just for validation, consumer validation. And means that result of means winning a competition was enough to pump us to means trying something new. So yeah, you can add.
yeah. No, I think so. Let me put it this way, right? If you look at banks, right? Let me take an example of banks,
Yeah,
right? Um, so I think in the Indian context, we have primarily three leaders, right? One is Kotak Bank, one is HDFC Bank, and probably in the NBFC sector, we have Bajaj Finance, right? I think every year, right? Every year we have over, literally like two or three banks shut. They start, they shut store. You would have heard the news where a lot of people lost their money, people are not getting the money back, so on and so forth, right? Why is that an HDFC or Kotak can keep dominating the market while no one else can establish themselves, right? Because HDFC and Kotak have established that user base, have established that CASA franchise, that year on year they can go forward and increase the margins
yeah,
for returns as well for the investors and that trust, right? And Nihal, why am I telling you this, right? You told me that you had an idea, let's say whatever idea you had, right? Usually in that sector there will be one or two leaders,
yeah,
right?
of course,
Now let's say something like a Mintra or Jabong, right? Now, what happens is if you go forward and compete with Mintra and Jabong, right? Even if you have literally uh, 10 new features, right? You cannot cut your costs down Mintra, right? Now, let's say Mintra, the logistic cost plus their profit plus everything else they add up, right? And they might make a margin of 10 rupees, right? They make a margin of 10 rupees and they have, let's say, a lakh of orders, right? That's how they earn money, right? Like
yeah,
if you look at the business model of Urban Company and Mintra or anything for that matter, right? Of course, Mintra has a different business model, but they earn through small transactions, right? If the apparel is 2000 rupees, Mintra is not making too much out of it, but the
they,
merchandise is
yeah,
selling at a 10% lower, right? That's where Mintra is making money, right? Now, let's say you come in, right? You try to replicate what Mintra is doing. You are, the most coolest franchise. Everyone's talking about you. Like, man, Nihal has become the super knight, overstar, so on and so forth, right? But what will happen, Nihal, is Mintra will see you as someone, oh, dude, someone's in the market. Mintra has so much cash flow, right? Quarter on quarter. They'll reduce the margins for a while, right?
yeah,
You don't have an option to reduce your margins, right? Because if
absolutely,
you reduce the margins, you'll go bankrupt, right?
yeah,
If I had to put this in context, right? Something like Lay's, it's dominant, right? You will have Haldiram coming in and selling their chips packet literally at like for 10 rupees for 50 grams, and Lay's gives 23 grams at 10 rupees. It's still a dominant player, right? Because Frito-Lay knows that at the end of the day, no matter whichever chips packet comes, right? Whichever chip packet comes, they can't compete with us because of the brand we have, right? If they
monopoly
compete with
reputation.
us, yes, if they compete with us, we'll reduce it to 8 rupees. Kitna hi loss hoga? 2 rupees loss we'll make. Fine, we'll make. But you can't make a 2 rupees loss because you're just getting started, right? A validation of idea is important. Fair. Nihal, your idea is awesome. But the problem is, Nihal, are you able to create are you creating monopolistic companies?
Yeah,
If you aren't, then probably your idea will not succeed, right? I can give you multiple examples where companies which are monopolistic are able to succeed time and again, right? You take Microsoft in cloud services or Office 365. You take Google in the, probably in Gmail or the mail system, so on and so forth, right? Maps, or you take Nestle for baby milk powder, Maggie, right? This concept does not only apply to startups, right? It also applies to companies which you're consuming day to day, right?
Yeah.
Something like a Hindustan Unilever, right? People go to the store and buy Wimbar, right? What they don't realize is that's by HUL, right?
Yeah.
And if you buy Wimbar, what you're not realizing is you are making a lot of money for, HUL. There might be 10 different companies, Nihal, in the store, right? But you will only go forward and buy Wimbar because of the monopoly they're creating, right? You'll only go forward and buy Lace because it's Ritole. You'll only go forward and buy, invest your money in HDFC or Kotak Bank because the trust is there, right? Because it's the best
Yeah.
CASA franchise that we have in India, right? You will take a finance loan from Bajaj Finance. You will probably go forward and consume medicines from Pfizer, Abbott Laboratory, so on and so forth, right? So what I'm trying to say is, if you're competing with a monopolistic company, it's very, very difficult, man. You know,
Yeah.
if you're in a niche industry where it's not tapped into, probably you can make a great, great impact there.
Now, as we have talked about, you need to, some experience at least to start something on your own. So
Yeah.
I completely agree with it. Uh, it's also on ideation. The ideas we get in college or when we are student, we generally get B2C ideas, and as you go forward and you gain some experiences, you understand how businesses work, how companies work, and you start getting B2B ideas which are more scalable and more profitable, as of what I think. So can you explain this also, the ideation how changes as you have been working with a company for 1.5 year now?
Yeah, so I think if I look at ideation, right, initially as we spoke 2 minutes back, Nihal, the way I look at ideation is, in all honesty, right, initially you were just thinking of the ideas, building an app, and probably going forward and putting it out in the market, right? You're like, Play Store mein paisa aa jayega, acha paisa aa jayega, we'll become rich overnight, superstars will become, and it's not that easy, right?
Yeah.
Why is it not that easy, right? You have legal and compliance to face. You have, that's what I said, right? EBITDA, PAT, you got to increase year on year, right? If you don't do that, you will not be a successful company, right? Now, I can go forward and tell you, like multiple companies have done that, right? Like a Nestle, like a ITC, right? Like a Abbott Laboratories, right? Year on year, they keep increasing the margins, right? Year on year, they go forward and pump in more money to ensure that they are getting a higher earning per share and higher PAT and EBITDA, right? They're beating the margins. If you go forward and go in college and start a startup, what you don't realize is you don't have and I'm talking purely in terms of engineering, right?
Yeah.
You don't go forward and understand business value, man, right? You don't go forward and understand how you can build scalable models. You don't understand how you can build financial models. You don't understand what is the monopolistic franchise that you're going to build, right? You're not going to understand how do you build something that can give your shareholders a lot of returns, right? Now,
Yeah.
if you're not building that, if you're not building that business niche, and Nihal, I'm telling you once again, it's very, 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 very important to build business skill sets. You cannot make a company only by knowing tech, man, right? I know there have been
Okay.
exceptions, there have been outliers, right? You cannot build a company that way. It becomes very difficult. So over time, what happens is you start understanding business. You start understanding the cycles, business cycles of when the up is there, when the down is there. And when you mix it with your beautiful idea that you have, and when you build it, scale it, and also when you do the business aspect right, there's nothing that can stop you from becoming a successful startup entrepreneur. But unless before that, right, if you just go with the idea in your head and technology, I'm sorry to say, but that will not scale, man.
Yeah, you have been an early achiever, as your profile says you have been founder of a company even when you were not in college. So, can you please explain that part? Means tell us about that part of your life and what drove you
Yeah,
into technology so
sure.
early.
Sure. So I think my dad had bought a phone, Android phone, and it was a calculator. So in all honesty, he told me, "Hey Prateek, this calculator is not working. You know, can you go forward and build something, right?" I was like, "Man, that's too much at the age of 13, building a calci, right? Might sound very trivial today. What is calci, man? No, but I had to handle multiple. I remember edge cases, right? That's the most difficult, right? Of course, 1 plus 1 I was able to solve, but I was not able to solve 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, right? I was a bad programmer back then, right? Of course, logically at 13, how much do you expect a person to know, right? Of course, now with White Hat Junior and everything, I think people know coding at 7, 8. I don't know. It's atrocious, right? But I think what I'm trying to tell you here is that I just believed in myself, man. I mean, I just believed that I could make a calculator, and I did it. I did it. The first version was so bad that people would say, "Man, what is this calculator?" Right? My net promoter score would be 0 on 10, right? Because every case would crash, right?
Yeah.
How I increase the net promoter score (NPS) from 0 to like 8 or 9 is something that I know how hard I worked through the nets, right? And what I typically did is failure over failure. I failed multiple times. Multiple times I failed, right? But what I did is I had a growth mindset, right? I learned through those failures, didn't make that failure once again, and I kept growing. That opportunities came by, multiple opportunities came, multiple hacks came where I exhibited it back to back continuously. And I was young, so I got the advantage, no denying that. If in the room all are 40 years old, and I'm the only 13, 15-year-old sitting, obviously you get a spotlight, right? But beyond that spotlight, what I was really looking at is how can I improve my coding skill sets, and how can I not go forward? How can I not go forward and make the same mistakes again?
Yeah.
Right? That was my only principle to go forward in life. I did not want to make the same mistake, and I didn't. Right? I didn't. I made a lot of mistakes, but I didn't make the same mistake again, and I kept growing. So, if in a nutshell, I just worked hard. I just attended every damn hackathon possible, conference possible to make my visibility, to make network. It was as awkward as going to a random person and being like, "Hey, what's up? I'm in school. Where do you work?" And it was like, "Man, who's this guy? Who's this kid?" Some people were cold, some people were nice, but at the end of the day, it paid off. You know. So sometimes people have this friction. Yeah, what will happen, right? If I go and talk to him, what will happen? Nothing will happen. Go talk to him. Go ping him. He will be busy, he will not reply. If he is interested, he'll talk to you. Nihal, you yourself know, right?
Yeah.
Right? You have been pinging people on LinkedIn and you yourself know, right? If you ping people, they're busy, they won't reply. But if you follow up pinging them, they'll reply at one moment, and that's why we are having this call also.
Yeah.
Right?
And also,
So,
what do you think
yeah.
about the importance of networking along with the skill set you have, means technical skill set, and what is the importance of networking in the industry?
Oh yeah,
And
I think
yeah,
Nihal, it's very important. Networking is something that's let me put it this way, right? Without networking, it's like salt to the food, right? You cannot not network, man, right? Networking is not only for jobs, by the way,
yeah,
right? That is a wrong way to look at it. कि यार ये Microsoft में है, ये Facebook में है, ये Google में है, I'll get a job tomorrow. It's not that way. No, no. Networking teaches you a lot, right? So let's say we are having this conversation today, right? Networking is teaching you how to run a business, how to increase your EBITDA, PAT, margins, quarter on quarter, how to build monopolistic companies, how to build moats, right? How to build strengths. Probably this perspective wouldn't have come otherwise, right? You networked with me, right? That's what I'm saying, right? Networking matters because of the simple reason that networking can give you that forte and that perspective of how to become a better person, how to exit and how to avoid mistakes, right? So I think one of my mentors, right, always tells me that you have started very young, right? And I say, yeah, I've been fortunate, I've started young. But the one advantage that I have, Nihal, is because he's my mentor, he's been my mentor for multiple years. but he has told me a lot of mistakes that he did so that I could avoid it, right? And I've avoided it so that I have succeeded faster. Probably someone gets mentorship from me when I'm 40, who's a 10-year-old. He'll probably get to where I am literally in 16 or 15, right? Because I'll tell him exactly, yeah, this is the mistake you should avoid. This is the mistake you shouldn't do. So that's the way I look at it, Nihal. So networking is prima facie very, very important, and one needs to definitely do it. Yeah.
So, do you know someone personally who has made it in the college, in the startup ecosystem, or what was their story? If you know someone.
I don't know anyone personally, but I do follow. Um, I do follow Deepinder Goyal quite a lot because I interned with Zomato in my first year, so obviously have a soft corner for that company. Yeah, I think Deepinder worked really hard. I think from where we were in Zomato, I think just restaurant viewing experience to making it almost competing with Swiggy, right? Because online order gets you the money, right? How much can ads get you up to the point, right? Of course, companies have run only on ads, but online orders get you a lot of margin, right? Delivery fee is there, then you take commissions from the restaurant, so on and so forth, right? But I think I really look up to him because he's been one of the most successful Indian startup founders. But beyond that, how he scaled Zomato to become what it was, to compete with Swiggy and to eventually become better than Swiggy, right? So that's something I really take away from him. Where almost Zomato, I really thought, man, how are we going to bring in revenue? And that's when we thought of 100 new things, right? Zomato Cold, Zomato Order, so I think yes. So for me, Zomato is something that I really look up to. Yeah.
Yeah. So also you, as you mentioned about Zomato, your internship there. So it was a non-tech internship, as far as
Yeah.
I've seen on the profile. So,
Yeah.
so what is the importance of these non-tech industry internship for students, and how would you means defend it that students should also do some non-tech internships?
Yeah. So the way I look at it is, I'll give you the answer short, right? So you need business acumen, right? Even if you're a technological engineer, right? Even if you're a coder, so on and so forth, right? You need business acumen, right? Without business acumen, it's not going to get you anywhere, right? Why is that you need business acumen? To understand any business, to understand what you're doing, why you're doing, right? Why is that piece of code aligned there? Why is that button being made, right? Why is that your code will add value to the user? You need to understand business, right? Business will give you data metrics. Business will give you financial metrics. Business will give you user voice. Business will give you a lot of understanding into the minds of users and what they want to help improve your net promoter score, right? To help improve your OKRs. You definitely need business. There's no doubt in that. Even if you're an engineer, right? For those multiple reasons, right? But I think the biggest reason is that you should always have a diverse set of experience. Okay, there are a lot of people who you can be a
Never. Yeah.
T, right? Or you can be this, right? You can go in one area, you can go very deep, right? But I feel as a youngster, right, you should be like this. You should look at everything, right? And then probably zero in the area that you want to do, right? You can't zero in. Let's say I'm 10 years old, right? If I zero in that I want to do, let's say English, right, throughout the rest of my life, have I even seen biology? Have I even seen product management? No, right?
No.
So you see everything. You see the spectrum. You see the entire spectrum, and then you zero in wherever you want to go. That's the way I look at it.
Okay. And also, since you are a program manager in Microsoft, so what this role is about, and how did you manage to get in it just after college? As many of the time, MBA is required for the role.
Sure. So I think what I think there are a lot of articles out there, and I've written a brief article myself. I think you can link it down in the description. The Medium article of what PM does, and I think Cracking the PM Interview or Decode and Conquer are great books to explain you what exactly a PM does, more or less. How I got here is something that I won Imagine Cup. I was interviewing, so I was very fortunate to get a call from the recruiter, so on and so forth, right? So I think the Imagine Cup victory helped me stand out. So yeah, so I think yes, MBA is required, but MBA is required for multiple reasons as well. But luckily, since I had those business acumen and skills through the interview, I passed it through, right? So I think Imagine Cup was one of my determining factors to get there. Nihal.
And what was your project idea in Imagine Cup? If you can explain to our viewers.
So yeah, so I think the project idea was to detect counterfeit medicines by the click of your phone, right? If you just take a picture of the medicine, you should be able to determine if you have counterfeit medicines or not. That's the way I look at it, Nihal. That's a short summary of what it is. Again, there are elaborate articles out there to explain what we did in Imagine Cup, what my team and I did in Imagine Cup.
Sure. And since today's discussion is about job and entrepreneurship, and we have discussed that experience is required, as of what you and I think. And for someone who is into entrepreneurship, means has gotten into it and has got a seed investment already. So, what advice you would give to them? And for someone who are means I see many kids out there, means trying to build something, but they are just confused. So what advice you would give to them?
Yeah, so someone who's received seed investment,
Yeah.
I would say just keep going, keep validating your idea, and listen to your customer. Listening to your customer is the most important thing that you need to do. You need to listen to your customer, right? A lot of
Yeah.
people go ahead of themselves and think that I don't need to listen to the customer. I'll do whatever I want to do. Those startups typically fail, right? If you don't listen to the customer, you're typically going to fail. Got to embrace feedback, got to put it in the system, and got to make it better, right?
Yeah.
Second aspect, if anyone student wants to do startup, I think we'll go back to the first answer. Get a broad experience, then zero down on a startup. To build a startup, you need business, tech, design, finance, human skill sets, human capital, human resource. It's not easy. It's not easy. But see the team, right? See everything, and then become a CEO, right? That's the way I look at it. Yeah,
Yeah. So I think that, and that was,
yeah.
thank you, sir,
Happy
for being
talking to
on
you.
the show.
But lovely talking to you, Nihal, man.